Yeah, so my name is William Baubin. I'm the managing director of Chinaccelerator and also MOX, and I'm a partner at SOSV. So it's a bit complicated, but we're a $200 million US dollar VC fund, and we invest through accelerators. We're global by sector. So we're number one in the world in hardware, biotech, and I run internet. We're not number one in the world yet, but I focus on sort of the mobile first, mobile only areas. So China is the largest mobile market in the world. Chinaccelerator is the first accelerator in China, and we bring companies from around the world into China and Chinese companies out. We specialize in bringing Chinese innovation out of China and international innovation into China. And then MOX is focused on Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, and South America. So it's the last 4 billion. And we have a mobile a smartphone platform with 135 million users, mostly in Southeast Asia, but also Eastern Europe and South America. We have payment platform in 50 countries, an ad platform, and companies of all stages that come onto our platform get a free promotion to our 135 million user base. We control about 30 to 40% of the smartphones in India. So we specialize in bringing international companies into China, and our biggest service is that we tell about 95% of them that they do not belong here. So to come into China, you need to have unfair advantage. And most companies that come to China do not have an unfair advantage. China is the second largest market in the world in terms of economy, but it's also the second largest market in the world in terms of venture capital, local investment, 20 to 30 billion dollars US a year versus say 60 billion in the US. The second thing is 3 out of the 6 largest internet companies in the world by market cap are Chinese. And they run things like a walled garden. So there's very little real-time bidding. It's very difficult to monetize your advertisement, for example. It's very difficult to buy advertising sometimes, and it's also difficult to make money here. So unless you've got something that's pretty slick that can set you apart here, I would generally stay away. It's a lot easier to go to, say, Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, and South America if you want to go for a mobile first, mobile only market. I mean, they have different issues down there. But China, you don't have folks that have local knowledge plus more money than you. Yeah, it's only going to get worse. The world, China's always been about walled gardens and the big getting bigger and trying to control as much as they can. The rest of the world now finally understand how that works. So, Facebook used to be a nice, happy, open place. And companies like Zynga could put a business on there, flogging content, making good money. But then, Facebook and Google and some of the other major players, Apple, they decided that they needed a business model, and they shut it down. So Facebook is a media now, and you have to pay money if you want to be seen, viewed, or heard. It's still a very effective marketing channel. It's much more effective than anything else. But the problem is that it doesn't matter how good your product is these days. It matters how much money you have. And that's been true in China for a while. Now it's increasingly true outside of China. So China is far behind in things like real-time bidding, okay, but it's far ahead in terms of commerce. If you look at Facebook and you go into any Facebook page or community or corporate site, you can't buy anything. But if you go into WeChat, you can buy anything that you look at, anything that you want to click on. So this is an opportunity. But at the same time, commerce optimization solutions like algorithms, machine learning, artificial intelligence driven marketing platforms don't have a long history in China. So on the one hand, you can monetize through commerce on social. On the other hand, there's not solutions that help optimize that. So there are unique opportunities within China where international companies can come in and I think do pretty well. And that's what we're focused on. Education, commerce, fintech. And of course, MEF is kind of a funny name in China because everything is mobile. The companies that we invest in, almost none of them, under 10%, have a website. And in fact, when they get started, under 10% of them have an app. When you build a business on top of somebody else's platform is a huge risk, and especially in China where the government might change their policy, but the big corporates, Baidu, Alibaba, Taobao, they always Tencent, sorry. They change their policies as well, and so they can shut your company down at whim. So we'll see how it goes. I think the the models that we're looking at in China that are pretty exciting are content driven. Because you might own the platform, but the platform without interesting things to look at, interesting things to consume, gets kind of boring. For the last 10 years, content has been not king, not queen, but pauper. It's been very difficult to monetize content outside of gaming in China for a very long time. What we're focused on is quality content driving to community, and then community driving to monetization, and not just in gaming. We've invested in companies like Yodo One, which is a global game publisher, co-developer, and operator. If you look at Apple's demo of the Apple TV a couple of months ago, their Flappy Bird game was the demo, multiplayer on Apple TV. So they're a company that helps companies go across border. Games has been big for a long time, but now we're seeing other types of content start to gain traction.